Hi everyone, here's another tool to add to your inventory. My name is Akshita and I'm a third year international med student studying the Bachelor of Medical Studies and Doctor of Medicine combined degree at UNSW Sydney. Hey guys, editing version of Akshita here. If you're watching this video, you are currently looking at part 2 in the explanation of what pathways you have to enter into medicine in Australia. So if you want to check out part 1 where this conversation begins, you can click in the description box or the card should appear here. This particular video is going to focus on UNSW, the University of New South Wales, and my strategies of USyd and UNSW. So be sure to check out part 1. Now let's talk about my uni, UNSW Sydney. God, their web pages are so easy to navigate. I don't think I need to explain this. But let me be clear on one thing. It was the case when I applied before 2019, and as far as I've read up on their websites, that's what I believe now. For international students, there is only the undergraduate pathway available in UNSW Sydney. UNSW calls their undergraduate degree the Bachelor of Medical Studies / Doctor of Medicine. Just like before, this degree is for high school leavers. This is a 6-year program. Well, the length can vary between different universities. Here, you again need your own high school marks, and here you do need the ISAT, so be careful. Now what's different here is that UNSW's course is quite blended. So there isn't really an official distinction between the Bachelor and Master or Doctor of Medicine component of the combined program. But be assured, you still do graduate with the exact same qualifications, a Bachelor and a Doctor of Medicine degree. Now, I think it's worthwhile considering the discussion about this term, the lateral entry pathway. This is something I've been asked about 1,000 times. This is not just before, like in this channel, even before. Juniors in my school, all of them have this confusion. In fact, I have a friend now who is studying medicine with me who also mistook the lateral entry pathway for international students. So I think it's worth clarifying this bit. The lateral entry pathway is not for international students. Even if you're studying another bachelor's degree in Australia, your visa is what defines your international status. And so even if you're studying a degree in Australia at this point in time, you are still an international student, so the lateral entry pathway does not apply to you. Let me show you what they have on their website. Here I have opened the special entry schemes page, and the way I got here is by going through the homes page, then the study with us, undergraduate, bachelor degrees, Bachelor of Medical Study and MD. We've been through all of this in the earlier parts of this video. Then from here, I went into how to apply, into the local applicants page, and then into the special entry schemes. I emphasize this is local applicants. Under the lateral entry pathway, it is clearly written here that it is only open for domestic UNSW Bachelor of Medical Science students. So if you are curious and you want to know what the lateral entry pathway is like, you can read it up on their website. But since it does not apply to international students, I don't want to bring detailed discussion into it because then it would confuse all the other pathways we have been discussing so far. Once again, I'll leave the skeleton chart updated on the screen for a second for you to have a look. Another gentle reminder for this university, please check for updates with COVID. I know that this is a little bit confusing, and once you get lost in the web pages on this website, it's really overwhelming. But I really do suggest and recommend that you call up the universities and ask for information straight up from them. It is hard because you have to take care of, time differences. I had to deal with an 8-hour time difference and international call charges, but it is the one place you can truly trust that information because it is coming from the admin itself. But yep, now let's get into what I like talking about, and that is how I made this switch from med sci to undergrad med. And you know what? I'm going to freestyle this part because I have said this to almost every single person I've met. So let's go back to where I started off, and that was ending of year 12. My exams happening in March and April. Most of you would know this if you've watched my previous video. Link is up right there. I gave my exam and finished off in early April essentially, but most international curriculums finish their courses in the later half of the year. which makes sense, and that's why they have just enough time to, get over their results, get all the paperwork done, and then apply into university. With the UCSyd's undergraduate pathway, that is the one that requires you to enter into a full 7-year course, that opens only in January of each year. Same with UNSW's undergrad pathway, it only opens in the January of each year. The medical science degree, the standalone medical science degree in UNSW, also opened in the January of the next year. The only degree that was open for a July intake, a semester 2 intake, was the medical science degree, Bachelor of Medical Science degree of University of Sydney. Now, I wanted to jump on that idea because I would see that as a pathway into the postgrad medical school. So I initially thought that, oh my god, there's no way I can get into undergrad med, it's too hard, it's too competitive, I'm gonna try postgrad, and so let me get through a medical science degree. And at that time, medical science used to exist, Bachelor of Medical Science, and so I was trying to gun for that. For me, specifically, finishing in early April, I would have all the way from April to next January to wait if I had to get into undergrad med directly. And I guess with my family, we really believe that once you finish your high school, these are the words of my dad, and I love it. He said that you really need that push into the university life, and you need to go head thrown into it because you have the energy and the enthusiasm to make it happen. If you take that gap for no particular reason, you're going to lose the motivation, and then there is just so much at stake that you might not perform the best you would. I applied to UNSW Med, University of Sydney's undergrad pathway, University of Sydney's medical science degree, and UNSW's medical science degree. So that's 3 of them of January entry, and the standalone medical science degree, which was a July entry in UCSyd. I applied for all 4 of them at once on 31st of May. So that is a month after when my results had come out. That's why we started putting all our focus into getting into that semester 2 medical science degree entry. That's why the whole rush happened for my visa information. Again, that story is for another time. You can go watch that video. Essentially, I entered medical science because I did not want to waste my time, and that was the very first opportunity I got. I did not know whether I could get into medicine or not. So I got into medical science, I started my studies in that degree, and as I kept on studying the degrees through from July, August, somewhere around September, October, UNSW and UCSyd's medicines, the undergrad pathway, started kicking into motion because they were going to open in January. And so they were starting to evaluate my application then. And so while I was studying the medical science degree, I got called for interviews for both UNSW and UCSyd medicine. So essentially, I had nothing to lose. I had no tensions of, oh my god, my whole life is going to fall apart if I don't get into medicine right now. No, I was already doing a medical science degree. And so I essentially winged both the interviews. I went in with no pressures, and I think that made the key difference in everything. And I think I'll forever be thankful for mom, dad, and my sister to think about such a thing. I was sitting and, most pampered kid in the family. I'm not joking. But anyway, I got through the interviews and I got the unconditional offers for both UNSW and UCSyd medicine. And then I essentially had a choice. I could start January 2019 in UNSW medicine or January 2019 in UCSyd medicine. And I chose to go into UNSW medicine. So now the task was to get transferred over. Believe me, the paperwork was a pain. It was quite tensing how my visa status would be affected, or whether they were even going to let me leave the course that I'm already studying, or would I be even allowed to undergo transfer of universities. And to be honest, I don't even remember 90% of the paperwork. My sister helped me out a lot with it. But essentially, I was able to leave my medical science degree after the first semester I attended there and get into a fresh start into undergrad UNSW medicine as if I'm starting a uni all over again. So it was like I'm starting off as an undergrad student all over again, almost as if I was a high school leaver. Now you might ask, oh my god, you just wasted money in 6 months of University of Sydney. Well, no. I ended up transferring a few of those credits of the subjects that I did in that first 6 months into the general education courses in UNSW medical undergraduate pathway. So I at least got to do 2 subjects lesser than a lot of my colleagues. So it didn't go to complete waste. And I think that whole thing of not having stress while giving the interviews made the world of difference. But yes, that's my story. That's how I ended up in undergrad medicine. I hope you enjoyed this story. It was kind of fun. I remember this time of 2018 to be one of the most exciting, exhilarating moments of entering into Australia. I feel like those moments were precious. And so I hope all of you watching this video aspiring to come into Australia are able to make it. I hope you guys are able to come here and then hit me up so I see you guys. That would be so cool. But essentially, this is my story. So if there's anything of value you took from this video, like it, share it around, comment down below and tell me what's the best part of this video or what you think needs improvement in. Comment on my video editing skills. I'm still trying to learn and try and improve each video. But if there was anything you took away from here, subscribe to this channel and make this inventory your own. But until next Friday,